Hello, hello. Hi. So this stream's gonna be a little bit different because I think it's just gonna be me, myself, and I, which makes a lot of sense because my movie review content is not as popular as my reality TV reviewing and recapping content. So it is what it is, but it's also like very much the same thing as me making a video. It's just me talking to myself. So if anyone's here or stops by and wants to chime in, feel free. But yeah, this stream I wanted to sort of record one of my typical movie review videos, but do it live instead of pre-recorded, obviously. Maybe it'll save me some editing time and whatnot. But I will leave the video of this live stream if anyone wants to see it later on my channel. Hopefully I won't get flagged for anything illegal this time around. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. A little bit of schedule talk. Next week on September 22nd, Love is Blind Season 5 drops, the first 4 episodes. So I don't think I'll live stream for a little while because every Friday after that will be new Love is Blind drops. So that pretty much takes up my weekend every time. And I do want to do a live stream the day that the finale and reunion drop for Love is Blind 5 because they drop by themselves on October 13th. So if you want to join me for that, I think it'd be really fun for everyone to come in and chat about what just happened, all the outcomes, the reunion stuff. So that's a live stream that I think I will fairly certainly plan on doing. Other stuff with live streaming, I'm just kind of feeling it out. I want to have like a recurring day of the week I do it or something, but I'm still like playing around with what I want to do on live streaming. But I know at least that one will be fun. Also, a lot of TV starts next week. It's like the fall TV season. It is all reality TV because of the strikes, basically. So I think I might want to do some live streams around some of the like weekly reality TV that's coming out. So The Golden Bachelor comes out, I think, next week. Maybe it's the following week, actually. I keep forgetting if it's next week or the following, but it's one of those. And Survivor is coming up soon. I probably won't talk too much about that, but I watch every episode. So I think Golden Bachelor would be fun for live streams and to chat with y'all about it. It is kind of interfering with the Love is Blind 5 stuff, so maybe after Love is Blind is done, I can catch up with the Golden Bachelor and we can talk about it. Also, Dancing with the Stars is coming out, which I think only old people watch, but I kind of like to watch it. The past couple seasons I've watched it. So that's just kind of a little housekeeping, admin stuff I have planned for the next few weeks. But yeah, today I want to talk about bottoms, and I'm concerned. Yeah, okay. So Gato is actually at the door and she wants to leave. So I will be right back. Just 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. I just had to let Gato out of the room. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about bottoms. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel, where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on the channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Where's my subscribe? There it is. Okay. So today I want to talk to y'all about bottoms, because cinema is back and teen movies are back. And it's a movie that has had a lot of buzz. And it's always cool and interesting that, or when like a more indie or comedy movie gets successful these days, since so much of cinema now is franchises and reboots and whatever. So it's kind of a big deal when a independent or like an original screenplay movie comes around, especially in the genre that Bottoms is, which is teen movies. They're not always so critically well received. But yeah, so the way I'm built out this stream is I did my graphics first, kind of like a PowerPoint. So the stream today might have a little bit of a class presentation vibe. But I'm just trying that out so that I don't just have no graphics to show you. So let's try that. Let me start my slideshow. And yeah, so if you haven't heard about Bottoms, it is in theaters. And I'm going to go into first like the background of the movie, my general review of it, is it worth watching kind of stuff. And then in the second half of the stream, I want to do more like a recap with details and like my thoughts on specific parts of the movie that do include spoilers, but there will be a spoiler alert for that. Okay. So first, I don't want to keep going without acknowledging the strike and giving this disclaimer. This video is being recorded and streamed during the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Without the labor of the writers and actors currently on strikes, Bottoms and any other movie I discuss in this stream would not exist. It's important to acknowledge that that's still going on. Okay, so starting out with, is it worth watching? I definitely think it is. I mean, no surprise. If you've been online, you've probably heard about Bottoms and heard praise for it. I think it's really fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very campy. And especially if you like teen movies, I think this is like a great one. It simultaneously like parodies teen movies, but it still has like heart to it. It also has two lesbian teen girls as leads, and it's definitely like more representation that we haven't had a ton of in cinema. I do think Bottoms was like more inspired by like the raunchier side of teen movies, like American Pie, Superbad, and those are both movies I haven't seen. I think maybe that's sacrilegious, but it just feels like they're the type of movies like you had to be there, and I feel like if I watched them now, they wouldn't have like the same great effect. But maybe they would. I don't know. Let me know. I also like growing up wasn't like too seeking out like male-led movies and teen movies. So I just kind of like haven't watched these, but I know they're very big and they partially influenced Bottoms. It also does have some more feminine leaning inspirations like But I'm a Cheerleader, Sugar and Spice, Dick, Bring It On. I've only seen Bring It On and like half of But I'm a Cheerleader. Also, I saw an interview where the writer mentioned she was inspired by Drop Dead Gorgeous a bit, and I just watched that movie for the first time like 2 weeks ago. It was on like World Cinema Day, that day where like all movie tickets were $4. And it was like a total accident that I watched it. Um, I didn't even know about the Cinema Day yet. I was actually pissed because I bought tickets to Drop Dead Gorgeous. It was like a rerun screening at Alamo Drafthouse, and the next day, I saw all over Twitter that it was like, oh, um, this day is $4 cinema ticket day, and like I had already paid full price. So I was mad, but then Alamo Drafthouse emailed me and was like, oh, we're giving you a refund because you paid full price and you get free food, a coupon, because they didn't give me the discount in the first place. So that was cool, and it was totally out of nowhere. I was just looking to stream Drop Dead Gorgeous because it seems like a classic that has kind of been lost. I don't know. I don't hear much talk about it. My friend sent me like a TikTok about it once, and that's how I got interested. But I was just looking to stream it, and then when I Googled it, Showtimes came up, and I was like, well, might as well just go see it in theaters. But Drop Dead Gorgeous was like really interesting and cool. It has like a stacked cast when they were really young. So Kirsten Dunst is the protagonist, and then Denise Richards, Amy Adams, Allison Janney, Kirstie Alley's in it. It's like, it was so crazy. Like, it did not age the best. I will give it that. Like, not, not great, but a lot of things, it also felt like really ahead of its time. And it's kind of like, it's about like a teen beauty pageant in a small town. And there's also kind of like a little bit of like a murder aspect to it. Like, almost horror movie, but not all the way. A little bit of suspense, I don't know. But it was like a mockumentary, and it felt really like campy. It was just really interesting and good, and it was edgy. I think that's a good way to describe it. I think even back then it was like pushing boundaries, but it was really trying to make a statement. Like, there's statements kind of about like eating disorders and like female stereotypes and stuff. So I recommend it if you haven't checked it out. The problem is it's not on streaming, so I don't know. It's a hard one. It's one that's been kind of hidden, and I'm not sure why. Another movie that's a more modern classic, I consider, that felt really similar to Bottoms is Booksmart. I think if you like Booksmart, you would definitely like Bottoms. It has a pretty similar plot when I sat down to think about it. Like, it's a buddy comedy style. Like, this duo, one is maybe a little more cautious, one is more out there and wild. Also, it features, I think Booksmart, just one of them is a lesbian. I don't quite remember. But one of them's a lesbian. Bottoms, two of them are. And they're also like unpopular in school. They're nerdy. So I noticed a lot of similarities, but they still feel very distinct. I think Bottoms really turned it up a notch and ups the camp factor quite a bit. It like goes further, and I feel like Booksmart was more like tied to realism and a little more grounded, and Bottoms is a little more like out there and purposefully ridiculous and not really trying to be realistic. Okay, so in summary, I do think it's worth watching. Okay, I just put a bunch of photos of Booksmart. Oh, and it's also female directed and written because Booksmart was Olivia Wilde, and Bottoms is Emma Seligman. I'm not sure how you say her name. Oh my god, I don't know why I put this in here, but I just thought it was so funny when I was trying to find graphics. I found like the Spanish version of Booksmart, and it was called La Noche de las Nerds. I just think that's so funny. Oh, hi, friends in the chat. we're here all by ourselves this time. But yeah, like I just like all the little names for everybody, like el sexy, la cool, el intenso, la rara. That was me. I was la rara. It was just, I'd never seen this before. Okay, so now we're moving into our about and background about Bottoms. I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty high profile because I feel like the faces of Bottoms have been everywhere this year. But it also, oh, I forgot to mention, this section will have like sort of light spoilers, as in like maybe what music appears or like cast, or I don't know, very general light spoilers, but not anything about the plot. Let's say that. Bottoms premiered at South by Southwest in March of 2023, here in Austin, where I live, and later in August/September, it was distributed by MGM in theaters. At first, it was hard to get tickets. I remember the first couple weeks people were upset because like it was just like 10 theaters across the country where it was playing, but after that it was more widespread, and it actually did really well in those few theaters. It was also really highly reviewed, so it made people really like want to see it, but a lot of people can't. The good news is it actually drops on digital on September 22nd, so next Friday. And I think that just means like it is like rentable and buyable on digital. It doesn't mean streaming yet, I'm pretty sure. But you know, if you haven't had a chance to see it in theaters or really want to see it again soon, it is coming to digital. So I already mentioned this, but Bottoms was written and directed by Emma Seligman. It was also co-written by Rachel Sennott. Oh my God, I don't know how to pronounce these people's names because I've just read them this whole time. But yeah, Rachel is on the right, and she plays PJ in the movie. And it was produced by Elizabeth Banks Production Company, which is Brownstone Productions. And in a lot of the trailers, I noticed they advertised it as like from the producers of Pitch Perfect, which I think Pitch Perfect was like Elizabeth Banks' first big produced movie. And when I thought about it too, oh, this is just a glamorous photo of the three of them. When I thought about it, Bottoms did have some Pitch Perfect vibes to it as well, especially with like the group dynamic and like the quirky different personalities in the group. Like the Fight Club scenes in Bottoms reminded me of like the Pitch Perfect group, or like acapella. It's been so long since like the Glee era. But yeah, just similar kind of like groups of women that are nerdy, and some are hot, some don't feel hot. I don't know. Does have a vibe. Okay, now music. I was very excited about Bottoms because the music was co-produced by Charli XCX, and that includes like the score. So not just like providing a song for it, which Charli has done for a lot of movies. I think this is our debut like composing and that kind of thing. And I loved the music in the movie. They played Complicated at a key point, a key sad point, I'll say. They also played Party for You from Charli's Quarantine album towards the end of the movie. And I was so excited to hear that song because it's kind of like it feels like a deep cut. I don't know. But I love that album. And TBT to Quarantine 2020. They also went with some oldies. Total Eclipse of the Heart was played, and I love that song. Like, I don't know why I don't like modern ballads, but like an 80s ballad just is so powerful. And something I noticed about Bottoms too is they would play like the full song a lot. And recently, in a lot of the movies I've reviewed that are on streaming, especially, they just play tiny snippets of like a million popular songs. Like Zoe 102 did this really intensely. Like they had Olivia Rodrigo songs and like a million snippets of songs, and it was just a little bit. So I wonder if Bottoms just like maybe they had to make the budget stretch and they just got their money's worth by playing the full song they paid for. But I thought it was like nice to hear like the full song, and it would spread out over like a whole part of the movie, a whole sequence. So moving on to the cast, the movie stars Rachel Sennett as PJ. Both the leads have had a huge year this year, and she also co-wrote the movie. She starred in Shiva Baby. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that was Emma Seligman's first movie and their first collaboration. And she was also in The Idol and in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. So she's had a lot going on. She's also in that TikTok that is better than The Idol and basically the same concept. And I found that out way late that it was the same person. And then next, we have the People's Princess. Okay, I stan. Her name is Ayo Edebiri. And I think they had like a little ad before the movie where they said their names, and that was the first time I had heard how to say her name. But I stan. She is a queen, and she has had like the most busy 2023 ever of all time. She stars in The Bear, which I'm obsessed with that show. It's not even on brand for me at all, but I love The Bear and I love her in The Bear. She also guest starred on Abbott Elementary. She's also done voiceover stuff for Big Mouth and the new Ninja Turtles movie. That's also been pretty well received. And she's also in Theater Camp, which is a movie I haven't seen yet, but I really want to. And it actually drops on Hulu tomorrow, the day I'm streaming this, tomorrow, Thursday. And I will be watching. I'm seated for that one. I think it looks really funny. It's like a mockumentary. And I kind of just missed it in theaters. I think it also had a pretty limited theatrical run. But I'm excited to watch it. And I'm excited she's in it. And she's like literally in everything. A lot of Booksmart people are also in this. By the way, they're all kind of in the same universe. Also notable in the cast is Nicholas Galitzine. How do you say it? I don't know. He plays Jeff, and he's had a big year too, starring in Red, White, and Royal Blue, which it was a movie I kind of wanted to cover, but then I was taking a break during July, and I ended up not covering it. But I watched it, and it was great, and I loved it. But the range of this man, because the character he plays in Bottoms is so different, aggressively straight and obnoxious, and in Red, White, and Royal Blue he's like a soft-spoken, shy prince. So that's cool. Other people on the cast: Ruby Cruz plays Hazel, Havana Rose Liu is Isabel, Kaya Gerber is Brittany. She's the daughter of Cindy Crawford, Nepo Baby, and she's a model, and you can obviously tell. And then on the right is Miles Fowler. He plays Tim, who's like another football player. And then Marshawn Lynch plays Mr. G, who's like the prominent adult of the movie. And he's a former football player. I read in an interview that like they took a damn. They took like a John Waters approach to casting this, which I didn't know what that meant, but they explain it in the article that like apparently John Waters liked to take people from different backgrounds in his movies. So like actors mixed with singers, mixed with models, athletes, drag queens, and this movie has, a football player, some models, some writer, actor, people. So it's just kind of to get like an interesting dynamic, I guess, between the cast. Pam says Nicholas played a bottom and then he was in Bottoms, which shout out to the chat. Wait, actually, can I get y'all on the... Does this work? Oh my god. I kind of can get the chat on there, but the opacity is messed up, so I'll work on that for next time. Okay. So I thought it was a great cast. A lot of, like, I knew the main two because they've been everywhere this year, but like these other people, I had never seen them acting before, and they were all great. Okay, so now we're going into spoilers. Sorry to my friends that are in the chat and haven't seen it yet. Hopefully you can see it on digital. But yeah, so I'm going to go into recap of the movie. And I was going to play the trailer, but I'm actually kind of scared, and I don't think I want to because I don't want to get taken down mid. No, go away. Okay, it's playing. No, don't play. See, it's warning us. Okay, I'm not playing the trailer. I'm scared. I have noticed they've called Bottoms like a sex comedy everywhere, like when I look it up in my research, and I'm just like, how is it a sex comedy? Like, or is that a thing? I didn't know that was a genre. And secondly, like, I don't think I'd go that far to call it that. It didn't even have much sex. It doesn't have any graphic sex really in it that I can remember. I would just say it's like a teen movie, but raunchy, on the raunchier side. But yeah, like I've seen it labeled sex comedy a lot, and that just seems rare. Or I just hadn't seen something called that before, but maybe I just haven't watched a lot of them. I mean, maybe American Pie and Superbad are a sex comedy. Okay, so getting into the plot. So Bottoms follows two high school senior girls. I didn't know they were senior. PJ and Josie. PJ is Rachel Sennett. Josie is Io's character. And they set up a fight club as a way to hook up with cheerleaders. They're both lesbian and very sexually frustrated, and they both have crushes on like the most popular girls in school, who are Isabel and Brittany. Are they here? Yes. Brittany is in front and Isabel is in the back. Isabel is like the main popular girl, and Brittany is her sidekick. And they kind of make fun of that a bit in teen movies. And they like poke fun at how Brittany is always like just following whatever Isabel does, very much like a Gretchen Wieners, but even more like they're self-aware about it. They have dialogue about it. And the popular girls hate PJ and Josie, or they just think they're losers, which I guess they are in the high school hierarchy. I forgot to mention, they live in a small town where the high school is all obsessed with football. I forgot to put a picture of Jeff, but Jeff is like the star quarterback who's dating Isabel, and the school worships him. And Josie's character is like pining for Isabel, but she's like in a relationship with Jeff. So PJ and Josie go to the state fair. I really hope I don't get flagged for using GIFs in here. And at the state fair, they also introduce a character named Hazel, who was such a lovable character, like Stan Hazel, obviously. They did a really good job writing like a likable character with her. She's like very earnest and nice to PJ and Josie, and PJ and Josie kind of like pay her no mind. And she's kind of like a friend of theirs, but more distant than the besties. And she's also a lesbian, I should say that. So after the state fair, when they're leaving, PJ and Josie are in the car and they see Jeff and Isabel having a fight, and Isabel ends up running away and hiding in their car. And then Jeff comes to find them and gets in front of the car in the way. And they end up like inching the car forward on him. Like he's like that, blocking it, and he falls over and like pretends to have a really severe injury. So they go to school the next day or the next whatever, whenever they go to school next, and Jeff is injured. You see the crutches in the back. And there's rumors spreading that they fought Jeff and beat him up, and also that they went to juvie, which I didn't know if those were like related rumors. It's hard with these like theater movies where I just watch it once and I don't get to like reference it again. But yeah, so there's rumors that PJ and Josie went to juvie and for physical violence. And the rumors get so bad that they get called to the principal's office, which I don't know. See, the movie's very ridiculous, so like it's not realistic. I think they even like call them lesbians or something when they're called to the principal's office, and it's just a lot of edgy jokes in the movie. And this is where like PJ gets the idea to say, oh, we only hit Jeff because we're practicing for our self-defense female empowerment club, and we just have this fight club and it's an extracurricular thing and whatever. And so from there, PJ gets the idea and then eventually convinces Josie to actually start the fight club instead of just like using it as an excuse. And the way PJ convinces her is by saying, you know, we'll get laid by the cheerleaders. Somehow we'll recruit them into the fight club and then get to fight them and get to have sex with them eventually. So I really like the movie, the depiction of Gen Z humor in Bottoms. I feel like it's the first movie I've seen that really captures that Gen Z kind of like edgier humor or like jokes, especially like the campified physical violence, or like it kind of reminds me of like those thirsty replies to a hot celebrity on Twitter where people are like, run me over with your car, and or like, I love her, I want her to punch me, that energy. And I feel like, I don't know if it comes from Gen Z, or it's also, I think, kind of part of like the queer online culture. So this is the first movie I've seen that really like captured that humor in an authentic way, where it wasn't like old people trying to write Gen Z and being like TikTok or whatever. It felt very real, and it makes sense. I mean, sort of. They're like a year younger than me, born in 95, so they're like millennial Gen Z cusps, playing high schoolers. That's also kind of like a funny thing about the movie. The protagonists or the actresses are in their late 20s, but like it doesn't matter because it's campy. Also, I loved how Bottoms referenced teen movies and just like unabashedly poked fun at them. Like there's one point where they're sitting in the classroom and they just sit down, and then a little bit of dialogue happens, and then the bell rings, and PJ's like, wait, that was it? That was class? Like, and it's true. Like, I never realized in teen movies, like, the bell rings and they haven't had any class yet. And it's just like, wait. So they just kind of acknowledge those types of things. Also, how they depict the football player and how the school worships him is so funny. Like, there's posters. There he is, finally. There's posters of him everywhere, and they're like vaguely or explicitly sexual sometimes, of just the school being obsessed with him, and it's very like dramatized. Um, Also, oh, there was this part which is kind of like edgy, I guess, but they do like a cheerleading dance and end it with like pouring water on the girl, and it's just kind of like poking fun at like the over sexualized cheers or cheerleading dances. And this was one of the girls that joins the fight club and is like hot. She's a car model. So she kind of gives the group a little bit of clout, I guess. Also, later in the movie, we get to see Brittany's room, and it felt very much like Regina George's bedroom. I couldn't find a photo of it because it's later in the movie. Um, Got those meowing at me. Okay, so then that's kind of the setup of the movie. They decide to do a fight club, and then we start running into obstacles, of course. The first thing is they have to get like a teacher to sponsor the club, and they try with Mr. G, who is a recently divorced history teacher that doesn't care much about, you know, what he's doing. He's concerned with his divorce, and he's really funny. I thought he was great. I had seen a lot of praise for him, and yeah, I agree. Um, they also have to like recruit members, and at first, the people that join are kind of loserish, or people that PJ and Josie don't care about because all they care about is their crushes, who are way above them. And they have this car model girl with the striped, you can barely see her, the striped dress, who gives them a little bit of clout to the group, but it takes a while for later the popular girls to join. Eventually they do, though. And like, it's weird, like, so PJ and Josie have to like pretend to know about fighting and teach them self-defense, and they keep this story going that they went to juvie and learned to fight and like are qualified to teach them. Yeah, Isabel and Brittany join. It is very bloody. I forgot to mention that about this movie. Like, it gets real bloody and a lot of bloody mouths. It's kind of like fake blood, and I just kind of averted my eyes, but it does get bloody. I mean, right away, Josie hits PJ in the nose and breaks it, and that's why she has the thing in all the posters, the broken nose. So they start practicing fighting. It's very chaotic. It has no strategy, no like actual fighting techniques. It's all just made up by Josie and PJ. So I think for the rest of the movie, I don't have too many graphics because it's a lot harder to find screen grabs of like the later half of the movie. Oh, something I thought was good writing on this part is that like PJ and Josie have this secret, and it's always like good in a script that for your main characters to have a secret that they're keeping, because it kind of raises the stakes, and you know at some point probably everyone's gonna find out the secret and be pissed. So I think this was a good secret for them to have. So eventually things start turning when Jeff, the football player, is caught cheating on Isabel by Hazel because he's cheating with Hazel's mom. So he is sleeping with Hazel's mom. Hazel's in the fight club, and she kind of helps run it. And so Josie ends up telling Isabel about this, and she breaks up with Jeff in front of everybody in the cafeteria. And then Isabel is out for revenge after that point and wants to do something to get back at Jeff. So she kind of rallies the Fight Club and they decide to do something crazy. So they end up going to TP, Jeff's house, and egg it. And it's kind of like this whole heist thing. But Hazel takes it a step too far and puts a bomb in Jeff's car and explodes it. This sequence was so good. This was the Total Eclipse of the Heart song, and Jeff is like listening to it and singing to it, and it just like, it was like perfect how the song like ebbed and flowed with the action. Also, like, Josie and Isabel are starting to get closer and flirting, and they almost kiss, but then the bomb goes off. And so this is kind of like the important midpoint-ish of the movie. I think it's the midpoint. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's kind of like where like things go too far with the bomb. And so PJ is pissed that now they'll probably have to disband the Fight Club, and so she yells at Hazel in front of everybody and like really hurts her feelings. Also, Josie hooks up with Isabel finally after this, and that's a great payoff because, you know, we were waiting for that. And Isabel had kind of like been, you know, eyeing Josie a lot, even though at the beginning it seems like the popular girls didn't like them. So it was cute to finally get that payoff. Also, like the same night, PJ tries to hook up with Brittany and devastatingly finds out that she's straight. So there's no footage or no picture of that. But so it's interesting because Josie was more cautious about the whole plan, but she got the reward that was promised, while PJ did not, because her crush ended up being straight. So the next day at a big pep rally, and I couldn't find many graphics of this, Hazel gets like called. Basically, the group gets exposed by Tim, that like second and the Gretchen Wieners of the football player, basically. Tim, that's his name. Tim exposes the Fight Club, says, you know, PJ and Josie never went to juvie. They're lying about that. And also, if they're so tough, then let's see one of them fight this big wrestler guy. And so they make Hazel come up in front of everybody and fight this wrestler guy. And she's like holding her own at first, but then obviously the guy is humongous and he like beats Hazel up so bad. And this was really hard to watch for me because Hazel was so lovable. And it was just so sad to see her like, and I was so scared because it was like he wasn't stopping and he was like going really hard. And obviously, like, realistically, this would never happen at a school because, you know, they'd be stopped by adults probably. But like, it was sad and I was so scared and worried. And I mean, they really did this to the most lovable character and it was upsetting. But I mean, I guess it's good for the emotional investment in the movie, right? Also now, because they were exposed, PJ and Josie are hated by the entire school. That's where Complicated plays in full, I'm pretty sure. And also PJ and Josie are upset with each other. Isabel doesn't want Josie anymore because she's betrayed, that she just used her used the Fight Club to get to her. And it's just a low point of the movie. Everyone's fighting, hates each other. Well, not physically fighting because that's the other parts of the movie, but everyone's emotionally fighting. The rest of the Fight Club is like healing Hazel, trying to help her recover. She survived, thank God. And then we start getting into the climax. So Josie goes to consult Rhodes. I don't think I have. Oh, Hazel. I found some GIFs to honor her. Oh, I don't know why this is here. I think because They're fighting. They're in a fight. That was the point. Okay. So going into the climax, Josie talks to her former babysitter. I actually didn't realize that was her former babysitter. I just thought it was like an older mentor figure for her. But it's this lady named Rhodes. And I thought this was a nice inclusion to like sort of honor older generations of queer people. They kind of have like a really nice rapport. But it is Rhodes who says like, oh, at the upcoming football game, the opposing team is planning to kill a football player, like from our school. Well, their school, whatever. And so Josie now wants to get the Fight Club back together to stop this. Because, just casually trying to murder a football player. That's a normal rivalry thing, I guess. So Josie talks to PJ first, convinces her to come back. They like sort of make up in order to complete this mission. Then they go and try to get the whole Fight Club together. They get everyone back together except for the popular girls who are like extra betrayed. Well, it's just Isabel is very betrayed, and then Brittany just does whatever Isabel does. So the plan of the other football team is to put pineapple juice in the sprinklers, and Jeff is deathly allergic to pineapple, so if he was exposed, he would die. And so the Fight Club comes in to try to stop it. There's one point where they need like a distraction for the game, and they had tried to like make a bomb in the tree, but then it didn't work. Hazel put one there. So they're saying like someone needs to make out in order to distract. And Brittany and Isabel refuse to make out with anybody. And so PJ and Hazel end up making out. And they're kind of like that's who PJ's actual love interest is. And like, I kind of got that, but also I was kind of mad because PJ was definitely the more annoying of the duo, and I didn't like her character very much because she was like just so obnoxious. And I think this movie did good at like making flawed characters. I think that's like a great thing because they felt more like essences of real people, even though it was like their actions were exaggerated. But yeah, so PJ and Hazel got together out of nowhere, and they kissed, and they distracted everybody. Like, Hazel deserves better. So then the Fight Club attacks the football player, like the opposing football team, and just goes all out and ends up either killing or seriously like harming, knocking unconscious everyone on the team. Just on their own. And everyone's just lying there, dead or unconscious from the opposing team, and their school team wins by default. And that's literally the end of the movie. I mean, Isabel forgives Josie, and they kiss, and then I think PJ and Hazel end up together. The final brawl is it's very violent. It's very chaotic. It's bloody. I had to avert my eyes a few times. And that's the end. Eventually, Hazel's bomb does go off in the tree, and I think that's like the final shot of the movie, pulling out of that. It was kind of a crazy ending, but I see why it works. Like, I feel like movies these days literally have to be like this crazy for them to like get made. Like, there has to be murder or violence or like something crazy happening. So many movies now and shows, like I'm thinking like White Lotus, or like there was a lot of like action, like that Sandra Bullock movie with Channing Tatum. What was it? Like Lost in the City. That movie, and then there was like a million movies like it, like one with J-Lo and So many. So I don't know. I just feel like it's never enough just to be like realistic now, um, and grounded in reality. But I think Bottoms got around that need by like making it more campy and extreme rather than like taking itself seriously, which when you add like a murder or suspense thing could go like really serious. I don't know. It's like a half-baked thought, but um I think Bottoms did a really cool job like making itself weird, or they made it crazy, but also it was like campy and it's trying to like poke fun at the genre and stuff. Um, so other thoughts. One critique I have of the movie. I didn't have many critiques, to be honest. I had a really good time, and the point of the movie was like just to have fun with it. But I kind of wish they had had a moment where the Fight Club learned like actual fighting techniques, like they did research or they brought in like an expert for like different types of combat, and that they learned um, something real, because like I feel like it would have made the ending pay off more that they successfully like took down this whole team of football players if they were incorporating these techniques that we had seen them learn before. It almost felt like that the success, the victory at the end didn't have as much payoff, um, as if they had put in all this hard work and like dedication to the Fight Club. Like all the practicing for the Fight Club was very chaotic and like not based on any real fighting techniques. So it's like, why would it work against these big guys? And I know the movie's not going for realism. That's not what I'm saying. It's more like I just wanted some more hard work earlier in the movie to like pay off in the victory at the end. And I feel like Bring It On did a good job of this. It's like what I thought of as like the reference, like when they finally have to like choreograph their own cheer and they go and like start from scratch and learn different types of dance, and like they have that montage. So that's like what I'm thinking. But for fighting in this movie, it could have worked. And also I think Pitch Perfect kind of did this where like they do the same old routine the whole movie, and then at the end they're like, let's try something new because Anna Kendrick did beatboxing or whatever she did. I don't know, but that makes the ending number feel like they all play to their strengths. Different people in the group have different techniques. And that was the one thing that I don't know. I just want a little more like real fighting technique to come into play and show that like these girls are smart and they researched and like watched YouTube tutorials about like jujitsu or karate or, kickboxing, or I don't know, whatever. I don't even know fight methods, but that could have been cool. That's the one thing that I was like, I would have liked that. And also in this movie, there might be something to be said about like the glorification of violence by the movie. But that one, I don't really know. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a metaphor for like teen angst and sexual frustration. That's probably the point, and I don't think it's meant to be that deep. But yeah, it's weird that like there was just all this violence and blood happening in like a school where shit is so regulated that like it's just hard to picture that. But that was the point. It was extreme. It was campy. So that was Bottoms. Honestly, I got through this fast. This is like, I love this. I love live streaming my reviews because it's just like, oh, it's just one take, no editing. But yeah, I really love the movie. I want to watch it again when it comes on streaming. I'm trying to think where will it be streaming? This is an impromptu, because we know it comes out on digital next week, but where does MGM usually stream? Okay. It's on Amazon Prime. That's what Google says. So eventually, there's no date yet for when it's going to come on streaming, but it will be on Prime Video when it does. That was Bottoms. Let me know what you think in the comments below or in the chat if you're here. I would love to hear about it in the comments or in the chat. I'll read out some chats here. I think I'm going to turn on live chat replay for the VOD of this. So if you're watching it later, you can see some of the chat. It was a small group today, but it was as expected. I feel like that girl in Princess Diaries where she has like her cable show and it's called like Shut Up and Listen. I'm her. I'm Shut Up and Listen. So in the chat, Pam said, the school was like, I'll accept a huge football player almost murdering a tiny girl, but I draw the line at lying about juvie. Yeah, it's so true. Like, they got so mad that they lied about being in juvie when it's like, did it matter? I don't know. They still learned to fight, apparently, without any other kind of training. And then Squirtle asks, what was your theater's crowd reaction like? I actually saw it really late at night, and there wasn't that many people in the theater, which was really cool, actually, because I was trying to go to like the 6:30 show, and when I tried to buy tickets, there was literally no seats left. So then I bought like the 10:30 or 9:30 show or something, and the theater was pretty small or pretty empty, and it was chill. So not like big crowd reactions at my theater. That's an interesting question. Yeah. But yeah, big year for these two protagonists, actresses. Like, I love them. I'm excited to see what they do. The bear. I love the bear. I already said that, but I'm obsessed. But yeah, do y'all think I should stream some discussions on The Golden Bachelor? I feel like that'd be a good one for my channel. And I'm very interested in like an older, like that's unprecedented in reality TV. And I keep forgetting about it because there's so much content coming out, but like, oh my God, that's like the women are like 60s and 70s. They're like grandmas. And I feel like it's just going to be so much more like unfiltered and like they're not going to care so much about their appearances. So I think it'd be good to like do a stream here and there, just debriefing on it. Y'all, Pam and Squirtle say your theaters were loving it. And Pam says the best movie of the year so far for me. Is that shade at Barbie? Just kidding. I mean, the meme was there. And Squirtle says same. My crowd was dying. Yeah, I mean, there was laughs in my theater. It was just so late. There was just not a lot of people. Not a lot of us. Because it was funny. It was like a lot of jokes. I can't go reference them, and I didn't want to take notes the whole movie, but I'm excited to rewatch it and catch more of the fun jokes throughout the whole movie. But yeah, let me know of other things I should stream and discuss. I think Golden Batch will be good. Love is Blind finale reunion will be good. And I'll just keep announcing it like on community tab and Instagram posts. You can follow me at Mislenius on Instagram or Twitter to find out about stream. Yeah, I only post on Instagram about live streams. By the way, did you see the head football player dude's actor has a movie with Anne Hathaway coming out? Yes, I saw that today. What's it called? Maybe do y'all recall? Oh my God, like it sounds like literally Harry Styles fan fiction about Olivia Wilde. And do y'all know if that's what it is? Like I mean, it looks very much based on that. But I think that's so funny. And I hope this isn't the one where Anne Hathaway plays a pop star, because isn't there a movie in production about that? Is it the same thing or different projects? Because I really want to see Anne Hathaway as a pop star, but this one that I just saw the news today, um, she plays like not pop star, and he plays a pop star. So I love it. I love anything with Anne Hathaway. She's everything. Um, but yeah, like what is it going on with that movie? Is it fanfic? It's called The Idea of You, apparently. Yeah. Harry Styles, man. He did the thing. He has influence. They should make a Don't Worry Darling behind the scenes inspired movie. That'd be kind of funny. So much is coming out. I'm like overwhelmed, to be honest. There's so much, but I'm excited. I mean, it's the fall season. The fall season gets crazy. And yeah, I'll be here. I mean, I would love to game, but I don't know. Gaming is hard. It takes some mental energy. And it's like definitely longer streams. I kind of like these hour-long ones. But yeah, cinema is back, is the moral of the story. And Bottoms contributed to that. A great movie. Gonna watch Theater Camp tomorrow. I'll see how that goes. But thank y'all so much for being here, for chatting. If you're watching in the future, thanks for watching in the future too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help me out. I'll get better at the button. If you enjoyed, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope y'all have a great rest of your week and weekend. And I will see y'all. I probably won't stream in a while. If I do, it's like it'll be impromptu. But next weekend is Love Is Blind, so get ready. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.